Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, good Wednesday morning to you. Happy Valentine's Day from the Par-Mar Store Studio. Welcome to the show. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live comes to you from the Par-Mar Store Studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Par-Mar invites you to the Wally and Wimpy's night happening tomorrow night. Buffalo Wild Wings and Cross Lanes starting at 6. Great food, prizes, and more. Wally and Wimpy's, the state's premier sports publication. You can pick up your copy at your local Par-Mar. And again, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. And the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore. Looking for a powerful, luxurious, and innovative truck? Then come check out the 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, LTZ, and High Country today. Find new roads to Thornhill GM Superstore. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Again, happy Valentine's Day. I'd be remiss if I didn't wish my wife, Ruth Ann, a happy Valentine's Day as well. And to all of you, remember, gifts of candy and or meat and cheese snacks can be dropped off here at 1111 Virginia Street East anytime during normal business hours. Ryan Nicholson, my producer, and I will gladly accept those. All right. And also, I somehow missed this. Yesterday was World Radio Day, so a big shout out to my brothers and sisters of the microphone. Coming up later on in the show, Senator Joe Manchin is going to be here. Tonight at the Coliseum Convention Center is going to be a public meeting held to discuss the proposed closure of the postal facility out in the Southridge area. Senator Manchin and Senator Capito, for that matter, have been watching that situation closely. And yesterday, Senator Manchin reached out to me about coming on the show to talk about that. So we are going to get into that a little bit later on. Delegate and State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin is going to be stopping by. Plus, it is Valentine's Day, as I said, and Judge Maryclaire Akers is performing marathon weddings at the Kanawha County Courthouse today. Now, hopefully, we're going to check in with Judge Akers about that. And I say hopefully because got a text from her. She has a sick youngin', as we say in southern West Virginia. So hopefully, now the weddings are still going to go on, but they may be delayed a little bit. So hopefully, talked to her about 30 minutes or so ago. Hopefully, she'll be able to call in and update us there. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome. We are loaded up this morning, but I do want to welcome in our good friend from the campus of West Virginia State University, President Ericke Cage. President Cage, good morning. Welcome to the show, and happy Valentine's Day.
Well, good morning, Dave, and happy Valentine's Day. It's great to be back with you again.
You know, as I start the show every morning, I always take a big swig out of my my Marshall coffee mug here because I'm a Marshall alum.
Sure.
But, you know, a West Virginia State one would go very, very well. Just saying, you know, in the studio.
We'll definitely make sure we get you a mug, Dave.
Just saying.
Absolutely.
I do want to do this at the top of the segment. I want to say on behalf of a lot of basketball fans here in the area, last week the Par-Mar Shootout was held on the campus of West Virginia State University. 4 days, 32 games in all, 9:30 in the morning until 8:30 at night. What a great facility that you had there, and I just wanted to say, you know, I was there for much of it last week, from Mr. Burton to Coach Poor to everyone. Just a great job in pulling all that off last week. So thanks a lot.
Well, you're welcome, Dave. We are always excited to host our community on campus. Our athletic facilities are, of course, second to none, and certainly I agree with you. Kudos to our athletic staff led by Nate Burton, and certainly the rest of the team do a very, very good job of making sure that our facilities are open and that we're welcoming people. That's really who we are as an institution at West Virginia State. We are an integral part of the community, and we like to do our part to move the community forward.
President Cage, there's some exciting stuff going on at State recently in the news, including the governor announcing $50 million or so being allocated to put a new agricultural lab on campus, and plus a new doctorate program is available at State as well. Let's talk about this new lab first.
Absolutely. West Virginia State definitely is a university that is on the move, Dave. We've got lots of exciting things happening at the institution. As you mentioned, Governor Justice, during his State of the State address, did announce a $50 million proposal, which would construct a new state-of-the-art agricultural laboratory facility on the campus of West Virginia State University. And of course, since the session began in January, we have been up at the legislature, really working the hallways, meeting with our members of the House of Delegates and Senate, really underscoring the importance of getting this facility across the finish line. We view putting this facility on our campus as a win-win for West Virginia, because basically what you will be doing is marrying the expertise that we have at West Virginia State University as a proud 1890 land-grant institution that is engaged in agricultural research, education, and extension. You'll be marrying the expertise with the expertise of the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, who will also be co-located in the facility. Many of our graduates go on to work at the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, and we're already engaged in so many partnerships with the Department of Ag. This is a synergy that really makes sense, again, not just for West Virginia State, not just for the West Virginia Department of Agriculture, but for the citizens of West Virginia. Very exciting, and we are very, very optimistic about this proposal making it across the finish line and becoming law.
President Cage, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but what kind of timeline are we looking at here? Do we have a timeline yet? Is it too early in the process to talk about that when this thing could be up and running?
I think it's too early, Dave. Right now, we are squarely focused on getting the appropriations across the finish line. Like I said, we're cautiously optimistic about where we are. We have had very productive conversations with members on both sides of the House and the House and the Senate. But at the end of the day, we know that this is not a done deal until that gavel falls at the end of the session. So our focus is on making sure the appropriations happens, and then we can sit down with all of the partners involved in this to start talking about the additional planning.
Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. It is heart-shaped pizza time again, even after Valentine's Day. Get a 14-inch small heart-shaped pepperoni pizza, only $14.99. Offer good for the entire month of February. Find your nearest location, HustonsPizza.com. Talk about the doctorate program.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can proudly say that after 133 years, West Virginia State University is now a doctoral granting 1890 land grant institution. And we have brought online our first doctorate, a doctorate of education in leadership studies. And Dave, it is very, very unique. It's unique in that it's a 2-year program that is designed for working professionals completely online. It's a degree that, although it is a doctorate of education, it is not specifically limited to those in the education field, because the focus is on leadership. So we want individuals, professionals from all walks of life who are looking to enhance their skills as leaders in their profession to be a part of this degree. Now, one of the things that I've said about this doctorate program is that because it is so unique, because it's a 2-year program, because it's online, this is a program that will benefit not just the citizens of West Virginia, but frankly, students across this country. We have received incredible interest already since we've gone live with the application process. We have folks who've expressed interest from as far out as California. This is West Virginia State University's first entry into executive education that is highly accessible and targeted toward workforce demands. And this is also a program, I believe, that's going to give West Virginia State University a national footprint.
And you said something there that I love to hear when you say it is aimed, or at least in part, toward workforce demands.
Yes.
Because, again, and my listeners have heard me talk about that over the years. It seems like that for so long in higher education, we just put people out there with degrees at all universities, but now the universities are doing a great job across the country, I think, especially West Virginia State, of listening to what the employers need, not only in this area, President Cage, but also, as you said, from as far away as California.
Absolutely. You are spot on, Dave. And look, all of us in higher education have taken a step back. We understand that certainly post COVID-19, the world has changed. The higher education landscape has changed. Students and parents are demanding more from higher education. They're demanding higher education that's more flexible, that's more nimble, that's more affordable. And that's what we're doing at West Virginia State University. We're listening to what our customers want. In this case, our customers are our students, and we're adapting. We're making changes. We're investing in programs that meet current workforce needs, not because it's fashionable, but because it's what we need to do. It's the responsible thing to do as a public institutions. We have to make sure that we are listening to what the public wants and that we're adapting ourselves, changing ourselves to be viable for the future.
President Cage, before we let you go, and I want to always try to end on a positive note, but there's one question that I did want to throw out at you, and we've heard a lot of this in the news. And I'll be honest with you, I don't completely understand the whole thing. Maybe you can help me understand it, about perhaps the government on a federal level not living up to some of the standards of what's been required for an institution like West Virginia State to get by. Are we making some headway in that department?
Well, I think maybe you're talking about the underinvestment or the underinvestment in West Virginia State University. I know the Department of Education and Agriculture certainly put out a letter speaking to $800 million in underfunding at West Virginia State. And that's something that we take very seriously. We are not ignoring that. But what we are doing is we are working with our friends and our allies in the legislature and in the governor's office, and we're trying to come up with solutions that make sense, solutions that not only help to bring more resources to West Virginia State, but also clearly that meet workforce demand. So I am very optimistic about our ability to address those issues. And one thing I want to say, Dave, before we sign off, is that, look, on Thursday, we're going to have West Virginia State Day at the state capitol. And we encourage everyone to come up and see the work that our faculty, staff, students, and alumni are doing. It's our opportunity to express to our elected officials just how great of an impact that West Virginia State is making on the Mountain State. Let's
close kind of following up with that. Give me your elevator speech about West Virginia State University. Now, people around here in the Charleston area, we all know about West Virginia State, but if you are somewhere, you're traveling, I know being in education, you probably do a lot of traveling to conferences and so on and so forth. Somebody, especially with these online programs, somebody reaches out to you and explain West Virginia State. What is your elevator speech? What is your selling point for West Virginia State, President?
Absolutely. What I say about West Virginia State University is our institution, which has been around for 133 years, is in the business of transforming lives. Our university has served as a pathway for prosperity and a beacon and hope for thousands of students. We believe in meeting students where they are. We say fondly that it starts at state. Come to us with your ambition. Come to us with your desire to do hard work, and we will provide you with the tools that you need to be successful in whatever profession which you have decided to pursue. West Virginia State University is an integral part of this community, and certainly an integral part of West Virginia's future.
And tomorrow, you're going to take over the Capitol, right?
We are. We hope you'll join us.
All right. Sounds good. President Ericke Cage from West Virginia State University. Phone calls of Dave Allen Show and 580 Live, a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. When shopping at your Biggly Piggly Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by. From farm to table, Biggly Piggly Wiggly, the best kept secret in Charleston. Texting services provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Find a perfect over-the-counter hearing aid at Fruth with NuvaMed hearing aids. Plus, Fruth makes it easier to transfer your prescription services to them. Ruth is your hometown family pharmacy. Going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to go to the Kanawha County Courthouse as Judge Maryclaire Akers is getting a whole lot of people married today with the King of Hearts Day. Marathon weddings, one after another, going on at the courthouse today. We'll check in with her after this, plus Senator Manchin coming up a little bit later on, and Mike Pushkin is here as well. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
We are professional grade. Are you looking for a new truck or SUV that can handle any terrain or challenge? Then you need to visit Thornhill GM Superstore on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Right now, you can get a $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle on the new GMC Sierra 1500. Or shop Thornhill's great selection of GMC terrain. You can enjoy 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers on the small SUV that offers GMC Pro Safety Plus. Plus, you'll get a $500 purchase allowance and no payments for 90 days. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119, Chapmanville. So 5 Financial, see Thornhill for all details.
Hi, I'm David McCormick, owner of Omega Commercial Interiors. We'd like to thank you, West Virginia, for making us the #1 office furniture and commercial interiors company in West Virginia. Remember, when you're looking for quality office furniture and space planning for healthcare, corporate offices, or even a private office, call us and buy local. Omega Commercial Interiors. We're a proud West Virginia company. Visit us online at omegacommercialinteriors.com in Morgantown and Charleston.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. You hear us say that a lot, but it's true. Wherever you may go, chances are you'll find a Par-Mar store there, offering everything you need to get you in and then back on the road as soon as possible. From gas to groceries and snacks and items for your house, we have it at Par-Mar stores. Download the app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card too. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. .923 with Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. We spend 90% of our time indoors, and our health risk for air pollution can be greater in than outdoors. Pinnacle Consultants, the only accredited commercial lab in the state for asbestos and mold. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can't hurt you. Ryan Nicholson is our producer. They want to go to the Kanawha County Courthouse now, where Judge Maryclaire Akers is standing by, ready to marry up some people today for Valentine's Day. It's the annual King of Hearts ceremonies. Judge, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you today, Dave?
I'm doing fine, and I told the folks at the top of the show we may or may not hear from you because you had a sick kid, but hopefully everything is working out there okay. We appreciate you taking time because it's a busy day for you, and you add on the sick kid, and, well, I hope everything's going okay.
Everything worked out fine. She is at home and sleeping and hopefully comfortable for a little while.
All right, that sounds good. All right, so we had you on the show last week to talk about this, the annual King of Hearts ceremonies. Are we on schedule? I mean, 'cause I know you were running a little bit behind. Are we ready to go here?
I am running a little bit behind because obviously we've been at the doctor since about 7:30 this morning. But that's what happens when you're working parents, and everybody out there that knows all about that. But when we get started, we have two scheduled adoptions first off, and then we have 10 weddings set throughout the day. So we've got several set around 11 and around 1 o'clock. And that does not count the people out there who will hear my voice and decide today's the day, because we will accommodate spontaneous people too. So last year we had probably 5 couples that came in and just decided to do it that day.
And they are all because they heard us talking about it on the radio, right?
That's right. All because they listen to you, Dave Allen.
There you go. Promo material there, Ryan. Promo. All right. So we got adoptions first, and then you said we've had people that have called in. What do people need to do in order to get on the schedule today, Judge?
All they have to do is go get a marriage license at the Kanawha County Clerk's office, but actually we will marry anybody with a valid marriage license from any county in West Virginia today. Just come in with a valid marriage license, head on up to the 4th floor of the Kanawha County Courthouse, which is at 111 Court Street. That's the Judicial Annex, which is across the street from the Kanawha County Courthouse. Those two buildings get confused a lot.
Yeah.
And ring my Secretary Kim's doorbell, and we will get you fixed up and ready to go.
And I want to know if we have any speak now or forever hold your peace moments, because you and I talked about that last week. That may only happen in the movies, though, where hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, because I like drama, I want to know about it.
All right, I will tell you if that happens. I hope it doesn't. But no, I've never had it happen, but I might have it happen today just because you brought it up. I do want you to know that we are all decorated for the weddings as well. If anybody wants a festive backdrop, we had Balloons by Birdie come in and do a backdrop for us last night, and it's really pretty. I'll drop it in the comments of the post that you put up about this.
Okay. All right. Very good. And be sure and send us any pictures you have. Just ask them if they mind if we publicize them, because I know that Jeff and the news team would also like to use them as well. And normally we send a news person down there to cover it. So Carrie or somebody may be down there a little bit later on in the day. Give us, before we let you go, because I know you're really busy, give us, for people that may not have heard it, the history behind this whole King of Hearts thing.
This started actually Judge Charlie King, who was my predecessor and my mentor. We've talked about that a lot. He started this many, many years ago, called it the King of Hearts Day, which is why I call it that. Because it doesn't make sense because I'm female, but that's why. It's after him. This is my 3rd annual. I didn't correctly do the math last time I was there, Dave. So this is the 3rd time that I've done this since I became a judge, and I'll do it every year that I am one. One thing that's important to remember, this is a public service. One thing I think people don't think about judges as public servants, I think, just because of the position and what it means. But we are public servants, and we are here to serve the public. And this is a way that I can do that. I can give back. I can be here and be present for anybody who wants to do it today. It's a free service. You do have to pay for the marriage license. I don't know what it is. I think it might be $15. But otherwise, you just come in and get married and head off and have a happy life.
All right. We hope that's what happens. Judge Akers, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and you'll be doing this till how long today?
We will stop at 5.
Stop at 5 o'clock. So between now and 5 o'clock, today's the day. Make the plunge. All right. Judge Maryclaire
right.
Akers, I appreciate it. We'll talk again probably later today. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
It is 9:27. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Get with them for a quote before you start your project. If you're tired of sorting through a bunch of crooked boards, get with General Hardware and Lumber. They have the straight quality lumber and whatever else you're looking for with great pricing and the service you expect from a locally owned business, General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Senator Joe Manchin is going to join us momentarily. Also, a little bit later on in the show, we've got House of Delegates member and the State Democratic Party chair, Mike Pushkin, is going to be stopping by the studio as well. There were some texts that came in after the show yesterday, so that happens sometimes. So let me knock out a couple of those texts from yesterday, and then we'll go to Senator Manchin when we get him on the line. Text says this one was actually aimed for Chris Walters, who was in the studio yesterday. Chris, of course, is a Republican candidate for county commission, and he was talking about the response to some flooding issues that had happened over the last couple of years in Kanawha County, and someone threw this out there and wanted us to mention this. It says, Chris, the city of Charleston actually shared labor, backhoes, and trucks to Clendenin after the flood, even donated a free dump truck, says a texter. That, again, in reference to the interview I did with Chris Walters, Republican candidate for county commission on yesterday's show. Let me see. Text says this is in reference to yesterday's show. Just a thought. Paid mouthpieces for industries are not inclined to be truthful. Way to ride enthusiastic sidecar on unchallenged industry propaganda. Did you brush off the seats yourself? Says the texter. This is about, I was talking about the Super Bowl commercial, the He Gets Me commercial that a lot of people thought was wonderful and a lot of other people thought was not so great yesterday on Super Bowl Sunday. Texter says, shouldn't Christians be more mad that some organizations spent $29 million on Super Bowl ads and not in the community helping people, says a texter. Going back to my comments from yesterday when I was talking about in Conway, South Carolina over the weekend, former President Trump was talking about his Republican opponent, Nikki Haley's husband, not being part of her campaign trail. He, of course, is deployed, in my opinion, yet another example of the former president disrespecting veterans and people that have served. That's my opinion. Text says, I guess Trump also forgot that he has an absent wife. You don't see a whole lot of her on the campaign trail either. Pot, kettle, color black. Text says, vilifying teachers and librarians doesn't help bring qualified teachers to West Virginia. That's in reference to the library obscenity bill that has been discussed in the legislature. I have to check the status of that. I can't wait to get Mike Pushkin's take on that coming up momentarily when he will be here. Text says the Republican supermajority are very good at talking ad nauseum about hot-button issues to distract from their failure to address actual problems, such as jail crowding, failing infrastructure, public school underperformance, opioid crisis, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of people that say, even Republicans that I talk to, that say that maybe the Republican Party does spend a little bit too much time on the social issues. I would be one of those people. There's going to be a big event happening this weekend I want to throw out there. The Marshall Quarterback of Charleston Club and Audi of Charleston are going to present the 19th annual Valentine's Dinner and Dance. It's called a Green and White Night. It's happening Saturday night at 6 in Embassy Suites here in Charleston with dinner, dancing, auctions, games, and more. Your MCs for the evening will be myself and Steve Animal from our sister station, 98.7 Mountain Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock. And I understand that we're going to be joined by another member of the Mountain Crew, Shockley. And we're also going to be joined, I understand, by Rob Reel from our sister station, 96.1 KWS. So I mean, let's talk about how much fun that's going to be to spend, even though it's after Valentine's Day, a celebration of Valentine's Day with myself, Steve Animal, Rob Reel, and Shockley. That's going to be a lot of fun. It is really a big, big event, and it, generally speaking, nearly sells out if it doesn't sell out. It's been at Marriott in the past. This year, it's going to be at Embassy Suites. If you'd like ticket information, sponsorship information, you can visit herdzone.com or contact the Marshall Big Green at 304-696-4661 or see any Marshall Quarterback Club of Charleston member, and they will hook you up with the tickets. This was a text somebody wanted me to get out there to Senator Manchin. And it says, well, it's based on a tweet that says Joe Manchin using the power given to him by West Virginia citizens to codify abortion into law. This is despicable and a great reminder of why we sent Joe Manchin packing. He didn't want to run against us. He knew he'd go out a loser, says a texter. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show and 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Application is now available for the Dirty Birds Kids Club. Visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com or the Dirty Birds social media pages. Scan the QR code to sign your kids up. Membership will include 6 vouchers, good for any Sunday game, a $50 credit toward birthdays at Go-Mart Ballpark, and a special giveaway coming up during the month of August for all Kids Club members. We have Senator Manchin. All right, I think we are ready to go to Senator Manchin. Welcome into the show now, Senator Joe Manchin. Good morning, sir. Okay, we don't have Senator Manchin. Okay. All right. Okay. We had. I feel quite confidently that was not Senator Manchin playing that music. So tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break and we'll come back. We'll talk to Senator Joe Manchin right after this. Plus Mike Pushkin is here on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
I'm Chris Walters, and you know me.
Who guided the Uber bill through the Senate to combat drunk driving? Chris Walters did that. Who led some of the largest tax cuts for working West Virginians? Chris Walters did that. Do you enjoy Sunday brunch and outdoor sidewalk dining? Chris Walters did that and much more.
I'm Chris Walters, and I'm the only proven conservative Republican candidate for Kanawha County Commission, and I look forward to representing you. So vote for me, Chris Walters, for Kanawha County Commissioner, because you know me.
Paid for by Chris Walters for commission.
The largest indoor playground in West Virginia is ready to host your next group outing. Kiddaroos is this week's 50-50 Friday. At Kiddaroos, they make parties easy and fun for everyone. You bring the balloons and small decorations and leave the food and fun to them. Located in the old Sport Mart near the Patrick Street Bridge. More info at kiddarooswv.com. Friday at 9 a.m., go to WCHSnetwork.com and click the 50-50 Friday button to get 50% off gift certificates for Kiddaroos, courtesy of the WCHS family of networks. Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
25 minutes away from 10. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Senator Joe Manchin is here. Senator, good morning. Do we not have...
I'm so sorry. It will be just one more minute.
Okay. All right. So we don't have Senator Manchin. All right. Well, I don't think that was Senator Manchin. So we went from music into someone's... It's live radio, folks. It's 100% live radio. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group, where trust and efficiency are the cornerstones of their service. Meeks offers years of experience in both residential and commercial real estate with results that will exceed your expectations. At Meeks, it's about more than the agreement. Your real estate transaction is part of your dreams and goals. When you go with Meeks, You're not just getting real estate expertise, you're getting a partner you can rely on for a lifetime of successful investments. Call 304-440-1101 or visit Meeks.us. The reason that Senator Manchin is going to be joining us today is there is going to be a public meeting held tonight at 6:30, I think it is, at the Coliseum Convention Center, to discuss the proposal to shut down the mail distribution center at Southridge. This has been talked about, I think, for some time, and there was actually last night there was a demonstration, an informational picket, if you will, held at the Charleston Post Office to get information out to people. I think we have Senator Manchin with us now. Senator, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Is this David?
Yes, it is. It is. Welcome to the show,
hey,
sir.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you are 100% live on the air last night, or right now, I should say.
Great, David. How you all doing? Everything good back home?
Everything's going fine here. I was just kind of talking about this situation with this postal facility. The news came to light, Senator, several months ago that these jobs could be transferred out of here. Last night there was that rally held to oppose the shutdown tonight, a public meeting, 6:30 at the Coliseum and Convention Center. Talk about what you know about this situation, sir.
Well, this goes way back to the last election. Remember the mail-in, all the problems we were having processing the mail and the mail-in votes and things of that sort we were worried about, and they took some of the equipment offline. And we went up there and got that back straightened out, and we thought we were in good shape. And then all of a sudden we hear about this a few months ago, and I called Postmaster DeJoy. Went over it in detail with him. He called me back, and we got into it and talked about different things. And he said, Joe, we're going to invest more money, $30 to $40 million more to upgrade the system there. And the postal workers made a point, and it's very helpful of what they're concerned about. It's not that they're worried about losing their job; they're worried about being transferred to places they can't afford to go, and then what takes them away from home. That's what we're worried about. That means that they change the services that are offered there versus the sourcing and all this and that. So anyway. We're very, very much on top of that. We want that to be one of the premier areas as far as serving rural America. We don't only serve just Virginia. That serves into Ohio and into Kentucky and so many other rural parts of our country here where that's out of Charleston. So we're fighting for that. We will continue to fight for that. And there's a meeting tonight. I'm still in D.C. working here, but my staff will be there. And we're going to hold them accountable and responsible for this in DeJoy to show that basically the quality of work we do, the way we're able to do it with the proper upgrades, we can even do much more and much better and much more efficient. Right now, they're all looking at cost, and I can appreciate anything that in government they look at the cost of things costing, how we can be more effective and efficient. By closing down areas and going to areas that aren't performing. Perfect example. If they move that to Pittsburgh, and that's going to be their main central, Pittsburgh's not doing the job anywhere near to the efficiencies of what we do it. So we're going to make sure we hold them accountable. Decision we made on the facts of who's performing and who's not, and the expansion should be done along those lines. So that's what we're really fighting for. And what they're making it aware of says, oh, yeah, they said they're not going to lay anybody off. Well, they probably won't. If they don't lay anybody off, they're going to make me go 2 hours here to relocate here and there. That's not what we're talking about. And that's not what we're going to accept. So we're fighting like the Dickens, buddy, to make sure that doesn't happen.
And again, we're talking to Senator Joe Manchin. The union representing the workers, Mr. Holstein, among them, has been interviewed several times. And they've called out, sir, the Postal Service for scheduling this meeting tonight at the Coliseum. When it is Valentine's night, a lot of people will be out on the town. Of course, it's West Virginia, sir. A lot of people do church on Wednesday night. I am told the Coliseum Convention Center was available both last night and Monday night if they would have wanted to have it then. The Postal Service chose not to have that meeting at that time, opting to keep it tonight. Some of them said because they don't want people to show up, but we're trying to get the word out about this, so hopefully some people will show up tonight, sir.
Well, not only will the people show up, but let me just tell you one thing. We are on it. My entire staff is on this thing. So even if they didn't have the crowd that we want tonight, they're going to hear. We're speaking on behalf of the good workers, and also that's a wonderful facility up there. And for them to commit they're going to invest the money, that has to have value for the Postal Service. What we're saying is, let's improve what we're doing now and make it even better and more effective and efficient, if that's what we can do. because we've shown even with what we have to work with, we're outperforming the centers they call super centers. So that's what we're fighting for. So I can assure you their voices will be heard. If they're there, we'd love for them to show the strength of being there, the support that we have, and my staff will all be there. So they're going to hear from us loud and clear. Don't worry about that.
All right, Senator, before we let you go, I did want to bring this up. It is Valentine's Day. I got to ask you, how is your Valentine Gail doing following her little accident in Alabama a couple of weeks ago?
David, thank you so much. She's doing well. She's bruised up. It was just a miracle. I mean, the good Lord was watching over her, and that she got T-boned. She was riding in a car, and she was going to her work of Appalachian Regional Commission. They were going to have a work study group in Birmingham, Alabama. She landed. It was about 4 o'clock her time, 5 o'clock our time, and she calls me. She says, "Honey, I don't want you to worry. I've been a pretty tough accident here, but I'm okay." And I said, "Well, where are you, Gail?" She says, "Well, they've got me strapped to a gurney, put me in an ambulance." I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, you're really okay."
That's so what you want to hear when you're 1,000 miles away.
That's exactly. So I took off and went down there, and God bless her. But they really took good care. They went through every the University of Alabama Medical Center, just like our WVU medical centers in Birmingham. They went through everything, did a fantastic job, and she was released, and we got her home, and she's healing up, and she's bruised up. But thank God, if he'd hit 3 feet up on her door, she got T-boned by it was a high-speed police chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard the story.
They were chasing the criminal. They were chasing the criminal through the streets of Birmingham, and the guy just ran through the light and hit him, and hit right behind her door. She was sitting in the front seat. If it hit her door, Lord knows we might not have her with us today, but it was just a miracle, and the good Lord watched over her, and I'm very thankful. Right. Thank you for all the good wishes. Dave, let me say a couple of things.
Yep.
What happened, what you're seeing happening in Washington is just not, this is not who we are as a country. We have a chance to fix the border. The border is the most serious thing that we have right now. It's the greatest crisis we're facing. And to have a piece of legislation which was negotiated by one of the most conservative Republicans, a good man, James Langford from Oklahoma, and have a bill that basically finally stopped catch and release. It stopped basically parole to border. It hired 2,700 more agents to make sure that we could adjudicate. And when people come to the border trying to get in, they don't go any further than there. We turn them around quick. We get them back out of there because they don't belong in our country. They don't qualify. And we can control that. Now, I've told people, if you want to blame Joe Biden, he's absolutely guilty as charged. He's allowed this to happen, and it's gotten out of hand. He can say that he did it for humanitarian reasons because the world was hurting after the pandemic, and they thought they were doing the right thing, which turned out to be horribly wrong. But now everyone's willing to fix it, and politics raised its ugly head, and we couldn't get it passed the other day, and we've got to secure our borders. But we did pass last night or yesterday morning with 70 votes, Democrats and Republicans working together, the aid for Ukraine, which they have to have, and Ukraine is doing a tremendous job of holding back Russia, and I believe in all my heart they can defeat Russia from this aggression. But with that, it's also for Israel and a horrible attack on Israel, and then humanitarian aid for those who are suffering so badly with that war. So there's an awful lot of good done in that, but we have got to secure the borders, and politics cannot be playing this dangerous, horrific games, putting politics and the party above what's needed for our country.
All right. Well said, Senator Manchin. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be here, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, David. Happy Valentine's Day to all.
All right, thank you. 9:45. State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin is here. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, and happy Valentine's Day, Dave.
So you texted me yesterday and asked, the text was, can I come on the show? I asked when, and you said now. And that was like 1:30 yesterday afternoon. So I am going to say...
I missed you. I'm glad I got to see you on Valentine's Day, and I apologize I didn't bring you a heart-shaped box of chocolates or anything.
Don't bring me anything. Okay. But that lets me to believe, Delegate, State Democratic Party Chair, that you were a little upset about something. I know you, man. I've known you for 4 years. I know. Well, I know when you're upset.
During session, there's a lot to be upset about, but this time, you got it wrong. I had a bill. Yesterday was the last day to introduce bills. Mm-hmm. There were 2 bills that I introduced yesterday, just on the last day. And in one, trying very hard to get it on it was single reference in the House, which is a good sign. I still have time to get it passed. I think it's a bill that has bipartisan support, and it's a bill that you would think that it should already be in code. But it is in response to what happened over in my neighborhood on the west side back in October with the gas outage caused by the water leak. And it would simply require public utilities to have a public notice system, in place that they can contact the ratepayers when there is a planned outage or an accident, whatever it may be. It's something you would think that would already be the law. Apparently, it was not, because we weren't notified of our gas being out that morning. People just knew that their houses were cold. So that bill was introduced. It was single reference to the House Committee on Technology and Infrastructure, and the good news is there's bipartisan support for it. The Speaker has said that he likes the bill. The committee chair, who's been on this show many times, I believe, Chairman Linville, he has expressed support for it. So hopefully we get the bill run and we get it through the House and through the Senate and get it on the governor's desk. I think it's a bill that'll protect the ratepayers out here and people who are just paying their utility bills and deserve to have better communication with their utilities.
What about some of the other things that's going on this session? It's been a little contentious. I mean, I know you folks on your side have been upset about several things. There's been a little infighting between the party in power, which is common. Yeah. So where are you on some of these hot button? The rest of the time is yours, man.
I think that there are too many hot button issues. I think there are a lot of issues that we should be working on that we're ignoring. And I could go on and on. I'm going to start with the foster care crisis, 8,000 children in state custody, and there hasn't been anything done this session to address those issues, whether it's the staffing at Child Protective Services or simply providing services to families so they don't find themselves in that situation to begin with. That should be front and center. Not enough teachers in the classroom, specifically and especially teaching aides in special education classrooms. That situation is at a crisis level right now also. Of course, our jails and our prisons, the understaffing there. So we have staffing issues all across the board in state government. We're not doing nearly enough to address that. There was a proposed pay raise. Pay raise bills, as right now, are not moving, and nothing to offset this PEIA increase from last year. Nothing to address our retired state workers and the cost of living adjustment. There's a lot of things we could be doing, we should be doing, but instead of doing what we should be doing, the Republican supermajority tends to focus on just things that they want to do because it's an election year, and that's the divisive, hot button, culture war type issues that I personally just don't have any patience for. Like
locking up librarians?
Yeah, I don't think that's we should be focused on. They fought this battle in Kanawha County 50 years ago.
Yeah.
50
years ago this year, actually, right?
Yeah, 50 years ago, exactly. And it was wrong then. It's wrong now. I believe in freedom of thought and expression, and I think that parents should also be more involved in what their children read or don't read. Hopefully, they're reading. Period. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't believe in locking up librarians for contents of a book.
Well,
it's a wrong-headed bill. It's not the way to go. I strongly oppose that bill. We can talk about all the bills I oppose. There are plenty of them. But the good news is we got a bill that's actually going to protect consumers. It's going to protect the ratepayers for these utilities. And hopefully we can get that bill moving, get it on the agenda, and get bipartisan support for it.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Brightway Insurance, the Mays agency of Tays Valley. Brightway offers up to $2 million in life insurance from all the top carriers in about 10 minutes with a 95% approval rate and no medical exam. See them for all the details. Start a quote today at brightwaymays.com. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Do you support Donald Trump? Dwayne Duncan, the America First Republican running for Kanawha County Commission, does. Dwayne Duncan is a conservative that will defend our values. Dwayne Duncan is 100% pro-life and a member of the NRA. Dwayne Duncan wants more jobs, safer communities, and a better future for our families. Dwayne Duncan is not a career politician and will fight for all of us. Let's vote for Republican Dwayne Duncan for Kanawha County Commission.
Paid for by Dwayne Duncan for County Commission. Tori DeCubo, Treasurer.
Attention high school basketball fans. If you want to see where your team ranks every week, check out the Thornhill Auto Group Power Index at WVMetroNews.com. Each week, Metro News will update the Power Index for all 4 classes. To find out where your favorite team ranks, go to WVMetroNews.com. Click on the High School Sports tab and then the Power Index. The Metro News Power Index is presented by Thornhill Auto Group. The road to total savings starts with Thornhill. Visit them on the Thornhill Motor Mile in Chapmanville and Logan.
The road to your next ride starts at Members Choice WV during their limited time auto loan special.
At MCWV, you can get rates as low as 4.99% APR with terms up to 75 months. So whether you're looking to refinance your current loan or purchase a new vehicle, now's the time.
This special promotion won't last long, so take advantage of it today by applying at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston or visiting MCWV online at memberschoicewv.com.
Loans are subject to credit approval. Additional restrictions may apply.
Owning a home comes with many privileges. It also comes with responsibilities. The Kanawha County Sheriff's Office wants to remind you of one very important one, making sure your property taxes are paid on time. After March 1st, you'll pay penalties for late payment of property taxes. So please, enjoy every benefit of home ownership without burdening yourself with penalties. Call 357-0210 to pay your property taxes before March 1st and avoid penalties. 357-0210.
7 away from 10, the impact of Special Olympics extends far beyond the athletes themselves. Volunteers and supporters touched by the unwavering determination of these extraordinary individuals find immeasurable fulfillment in their involvement. The inclusive approach embraced by Special Olympics fosters an environment where everyone plays a vital role. West Virginia, enriched in collaboration with Huntington, invites you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580 WCHS. State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin is here. Texas for real, though, going back to Joe Manchin. What kind of influence does lame duck Joe have these days? Tex says, what happened with the water and gas crisis investigation? Was it deemed an accident and a whoopsie given from the companies, and life goes on?
Well, there's an ongoing several class action suits. I'm sure that they'll wind up in court, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Tex says they will lock up librarians but support a sexual harassment person on the presidential ballot. Something is wrong here. Talk about the Women's Bill of Rights. That's been I knew I'd get you going at some point. All right, so go ahead.
We can talk. It's your show. We'll talk about whatever you want. Women's Bill of Rights, first of all, does absolutely nothing for women. It's not a Bill of Rights. Yeah, I wanted to call it a Bill of Wrongs, but I got overruled by my caucus. They thought
they're funny that way.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, but it is wrong, and it's basically just a bill that it's an election year bill. It creates this perceived threat, and it's a distraction to the real issues that the Republican supermajority just isn't addressing. They're not addressing right now. But what we tried to do, and led by one of the hardest working, smartest delegates up there, Kayla Young, and one of our newest delegates who has just hit the ground running, Anitra Hamilton. They introduced a strike and insert amendment to this that actually would have created a real women's Bill of Rights. It addressed child care issues. It addressed Equal Pay Act. It added the Equal Pay Act and equal pay for women doing the same job as their male counterparts. They should be getting paid the same. It had health freedom in it. Said adults should be able to make health care decisions for themselves, period. All health care decisions. There was a lot of really good stuff in that bill. In the strike and insert amendment, of course, the Republicans voted down along party lines. But the one element of that amendment that did make it into the bill is something that we should have addressed a long time ago. And there's this archaic language in the criminal code that exempts people in a marriage from being charged with sexual assault. So if your victim is your wife, then you can't be charged with sexual assault. I think everybody would agree that is. I would think everybody would agree that is wrong. It's archaic language left over from the 1800s, but that's in code, and that did make it into the bill to remove that archaic exemption. And because of that, unfortunately, some of the Republicans had a hard time voting for removing that exemption. Mm-hmm. And the bill was parked on the House calendar, but I'm hearing that it's going to rear its ugly head again today on Valentine's Day of all days.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, they're going to pull that bill off the House calendar, and put it on the special calendar, which means it'll probably be voted on. From what I'm hearing, it will be voted on this morning in the House of Delegates. and I will be voting no because it's it's the rest of the bill. It's just basically a bill that it's just an anti-trans bill. I'm not running. I didn't go up there to pick on people, and that's all it does. It just picks on people. It creates a perceived threat, and it actually what the real harm that the bill does is it's almost like straight out of a George Orwell book. In the definitions, it says equal does not mean the same. Well, that applies across the board to state code, including the Human Rights Act. So that could do some real damage if you're saying equal no longer means the same. Well, equal is the same. And the bill's got a lot of problems. There's absolutely no need for it. And it's just more ugly election year, red meat type bill, just aimed at getting people upset with each other and cause division and distract them from the real issues at hand.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy West Virginia tackles pressing health issues like heart disease, diabetes, and more. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetroNews.com under the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. I'm going to ask you a question about being state Democratic Party chair. Filing period is over. You haven't been on since then. How have you done? How's the party done in getting people in these positions to run for office?
We have a lot of great candidates across the board. We had a lot of people step up, and we're going to be right there with our candidates every step of the way. It's very difficult to recruit, when you're in the party that's out of power. And in a lot of these gerrymandered districts, people are starting off 30 or 40 points behind before they even put their name on the ballot. So it's very difficult to recruit. But in spite of that, we were able to find some great candidates in many parts of the state. And I think we're going to surprise a few folks.
Here in Kanawha County, we actually have 2 Democrats running for county commission.
Yeah, there's a primary on the Democratic side and a primary on the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
People deserve choices, and the democracy works better when people have choices. That's for sure.
So what else are you looking at over the next, I know you said that there's going to be some things popping up today. We're over the halfway point now. What would you, on Mike Pushkin's wish list, give me about a minute or so what you'd like to see done for the rest of the session?
Well, I think we need to address the child care issue. There a lot of people not that they just can't afford it, but also there's no access to it in their areas. And we see child care agencies shutting down across the state because of the way that they reimburse them. It's whether it's based on attendance or enrollment. It should be based on enrollment. Toddlers often come, they get sick or they go on vacation with their family or whatever. You can't do it based on attendance. The reimbursement has to be based on enrollment. That seems like it should be an easy bipartisan bill. For some reason, Republicans are holding that bill up. But we have a child care crisis in the state. We have a foster care crisis in the state. We need to do what we can to expand the amount of placement we have for these kids so they're not being dumped off at hotels or motels or state parks even across the state. Hear the music playing. There's a whole lot of issues we need to be. Unfortunately, Republicans are just doing what they want, and that means they're running bills to weaken childhood immunization laws. I think that's a big mistake. Raw milk is coming back. There's a raw milk bill moving to allow for the sale of it. That I don't have as much of a problem with. The problem I have is there's blanket immunity from liability for any sellers or of raw milk. So I've never heard of any other food product that they feel deserves this blanket immunity. Can't get sued for it.
All right.
If it's so safe, why are they protecting it like that?
Lot to unpack here. Delegate at State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin. Dave Allen Show has been brought to you by Bridge Valley. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes. A WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.